All right. Well, thank you for joining. Again, my name is Derek Wood. I'm the Partner Product Manager here at SOS. I'm joined by Shaylin Herrick, our Director of Business Marketing.
Good morning.
And today we're going to be going through how you can really make some money with the SOS ServerSafe suite. So everyone knows that the market's changing, it's evolving, going from IT services, going to managed services. How do you make the transition, and how does this program help you make that transition into overall better economic health for your business? Not only are you aligning your goals with your customers, but you're also just working smarter, not harder. So it really epitomizes that aspect of things. So we're going to go through the industry real quickly and explain where the opportunity is and why we've built what we've built, and then we're going to go through the partner program. What are you getting with our partner program, the features and benefits, how this affects your customers. Any questions at any time are more than welcome. And then at the very end, we'll finish with competitive landscape, a little pricing discussion, and a quick run-through of the products. So any questions now would be great. If there is anything that you're specifically looking forward to seeing or hearing or getting out of this, let us know, and we'll be more than happy to go through that. So first, we come to an industry map. So we have this nice little bell curve that gives us a business 101 look at how markets rise and fall. So when we are looking at cloud backup, the early innovation stage, which is far to the left, the 0 to 2.5%, that was primarily 2005 to about 2007, 2008. From 2008, we really started to see an early adoption trend. 2009 to 2011, there was actually a 33% growth year over year, primarily in the consumer field. And now that the SMBs are taking place in this, so 2011 on, we're seeing this huge early majority growth. So it's right on schedule with just how markets come to bear, get proven. The way that online backup services have been proven in the market is cheaper storage costs, better availability of bandwidth, more savvy customers, and it's just a lot more comfortable. People before were a little nervous about doing online banking, and then online backup seemed anti-security, but it's been proven over and over again that this can be and is a secure service. The IDC has confirmed that of the businesses they have surveyed, which is what they do, 16% said that they're using some sort of online backup today. About 3/4 of those said that the level of online backup they're using is still just an extended trial. They're just using it for a single user. It's really kind of an add-on to what they consider their true backup system. What we're looking at is the 3/4 of those are looking to really make online backup the primary mode of backup for their backup solution. So rather than having some bulky tape system in the middle of their backup strategy and then some peripheral items like online backup, maybe they're doing manual offsite backup, other options. The users are responsible for their own backup at some level, which never happens. Now it's switching to where online backup is in the center, and you have the local backups on the periphery. And those always are going to come hand in hand. They're complementary services, but it just shows that not only is the rate of adoption, which showed that there's still 70% of SMBs don't use any level of it, but the remainder are going to be, they're all looking to get into it now. So maybe their tape systems have expired, the services have expired, whatever it is. So this is a really good time to get into the market. We're really looking at the rise of online backup in your SMB market. And that's why we built out this program. In 2009 or 2008, we had primarily done with an affiliate program, and we had some large partners that we did a lot of custom development work with, which were very strategic, and those were great. But we really saw that the big opportunity we wanted to specialize in was at the SMB to small enterprise level. And the best way to infiltrate that market is through managed service providers, which at the time was a very small percentage of everyone out there. But over the years has become greater and greater. And still today we find that the majority of our partners are still newly moving into managed services, meaning monthly contracts for setup services where most of the things that you're doing are remote and they're proactive. How many of you would put yourselves in the boat of being relatively new to the MSP model? How many of you are, just kind of give me a rundown of where you feel you step in. Are you just looking in to take this step? Have you been taking a few steps and this is one of them? Are you already doing managed services and you're just looking for a really nice backup solution? So if you could give us a little information about yourself and what you're looking for, we'll certainly gear our discussion that way.
Yeah, as Derek said, we're happy to gear the discussion for whatever direction you want. We have a relatively small group today, so we certainly want to encourage you guys to ask questions. If you want to be entered in the drawing for the Kindle, you do need to ask a question, and we are more than happy to accommodate that. I think that we're probably in a good place to move on to the reseller program and exactly what is provided. Okay, real quickly, this slide is here to talk about what SMBs are looking for. Like Derek just spoke about, we want to be a big player in the SMB market, and we are, and we want to help you be big players in your local SMB market, and even beyond, even regionally, if that's your objective. So what are SMBs looking for that will help you get there? They're looking for complete endpoint protection. They want total business protection, and that includes workstations, servers, laptops, and mobile devices. SOS Server Save, which is the product that you're going to see a demo of later on, is one of the only products on the market that can do that, and it is the only cost-efficient product on the market that can do that. We'll also get into pricing a little bit later. Hopefully you stick with us for that.
Okay, so moving right along.
Yeah,
so the SOS Partner Program, what are you getting with it? Well, one thing that really epitomizes our dedication to making our partners successful is what we offer in this whole package. So the pricing is all based on total cloud space and server licenses, but you get a lot more than that. We actually include a completely unique offering, which is called our Web Integration Package. This Web Integration Package is essentially for those of you who don't have web development resources or expertise, but would like to have some sort of e-commerce integration with the service. So you could receive payments online for selling online backup. That's just one of the many things. We've also integrated many other systems, including an HTML marketing tool where you can mass email to subscription emails. You get reports as far as click-through rate, all that good stuff. Again, merchant gateway integration. So if you have a authorized.net or PayPal or eWay account, you just enter your credentials into our admin section, and you're good to go. You can customize the web template. We've integrated in CK Editor, which is a nice little content management system. And we've integrated this in so that if you don't have a strong website or if you wanted to use this as a pseudo product site, you can do that very simply as well through the visual editor that we have available. There's no hardware purchase required. It's just based on a subscription for an allotment of cloud space for online backup and server seats for the server technology. So we go through, what do you get with other programs, and really it's just, again, a testament of our dedication to seeing our partners succeed. So again, we launched this wholesale white label program in July of 2009, so just coming up on its third birthday, and we are the leader in partner programs by far. And it's just a matter of focus. It's what we're trying to get at. So not only are we giving you a lot more, but at a price that's much more competitive and disruptive to the entire market. So that way you can really balance out managed service packages according to what you want to provide as a managed service and not necessarily your cost. As you see here, some of the backups, they include hardware, which makes them immediately $1,000 to $2,000 more expensive and just a lot more complicated to roll out to market. you talk with our partner specialists, they're going to roll you through all of the programs, and they're going to make sure that whatever that you're in the right place for us. We're not going to sign up a donut shop for online backup partnership. We want to make sure that this is a good fit. And once that's decided, what type of partnership should we have? What level should you come in at? And they're going to go through a thorough ROI with you. They'll even send you the ROI sheet that you can play with thereafter if you want to mess with some of the numbers and do some thinking on it. We really want to make sure that our partners are successful, because that's what makes us successful. So again, call in our partner specialists after this or even now, and they're going to give you a full run through of everything you need. So product suite, what are you getting with SOS? Well, this diagram is real nice and pretty, and it describes what SOS offers and eventually what we want to get out to everyone else. Actually, everything on here except for Cloud Life is currently available for our partner program. So we have a generic Mac application that's going to be coming out in about 2 weeks for our partners to use. The PC, of course, is rebranded. We have a generic iPhone application where you can back up and recover and access data from your iPhone. We have a generic mobile application that our mobile portal where any of your users can log in from most mobile devices if for some reason it's not an iPhone or a Droid. The Droid application will be due in the next few weeks as well, generic. File and folder data, this is our bread and butter. We've been a file and folder backup market leading since our inception. So 2001 is when we were formed in Melbourne, Australia. We launched in the U.S. market in 2005 with our version 1 beta. And the version 1 beta was actually the first PC Mag Editor's Choice Award winner. And we've won 3 since. So 4 consecutive PC Mag Editor's Choice Awards. And this isn't something like backupreviews.com where it's just you pay for your ranking. This is a serious run through the gauntlet review. PC Mag's a big company. They really put their recommendations as a serious note. So it's just a testament to how we've made the system not only very secure but simple. The quote being actually simple yet secure. The application data and system data at the 1 to 3 o'clock rates are the new services we've added with Server Save. So now, rather than recommending that our partners go to a service like Zenith or Intronis or Backup Exec and use those companies for volume image-based backup and then use our system to get everything off-site, we've now incorporated an image-based backup system into our software suite. So it's a full solution now, which is, again, the 360-degree backup solution. Again, just another table to reiterate what you're getting. Every server seat comes with Exchange backup and granular recovery. So again, there's no additional fee for granular recovery of Exchange. A lot of services, you have to pay extra for it. And then even beyond paying extra for it, you have to go into advanced settings to enable the backup to be compatible with that recovery function. So we get a lot of partners who come from Backup Exec specifically because even though they paid for the granular recovery aspect of the program, they weren't familiar enough or it wasn't clear enough that they had to go to advanced settings, enable this before they run backups, and then it'll be fine. So they run backups for years, and then they go or a month, and they go to recover, and then they have to recover an entire Exchange store. Very frustrating. Bare metal image creator. Again, image creator, you put it at a volume and tell it to back up. We do continuous incrementals, which is really nice and fast for recovery and for backup, and also works for off-site backup as well of your images. We also, being that images are rather large, we do have
stop.
Somebody in our organization muted me.
All right.
All right, there we go. Are we there? Okay.
Thank
All right,
you,
audio
Greg.
back.
Sorry about that.
Okay, so bare metal image creator, then online backup and recovery. Online backup and recovery, again, that's our bread and butter. We actually just came out with a whole new code base for online backup and recovery, and it's now easily the fastest. We were already the fastest at well over 20% faster than all the competitors, and we just tested 40% increase in speed and performance for both local and online procedures for online backup, and the recovery is just out of this world now. So we had a 15 million file backup set that refreshed in about 15 minutes. So it's quite impressive to see what we've done in the last year alone. But continuing to be that best-in-breed technology that we are. Workstation backup, we separated as a line item just because online backup and recovery manager, some people think that this is something that you would want to put only on a server, but the big hole in most backup solutions is the user. So you want to be able to install online backup at each user node, those network extremities, those people who take their laptops home with them, maybe they work remotely, they travel. How are you protecting their work on a regular basis? It's very simple, very easy to use. You can either give them access to it or not. It's your choice. I got a good question here. Do you have solutions for Unix-based OSs? Well, we do have a Mac solution, so OS X 10.6 and above is supported. And you can see that download on our website. Now it's in its first version out of beta. So we just released version 2 just a week ago. So that's exciting to get out there. And we'll be continuing to improve support for Mac with new features, new powerful recovery, powerful backup, etc. Premier Web Integration, we went over that. Again, this is a very unique product. Can be very confusing. Seems like a website. It's not a website. It's a bunch of different systems that we've integrated into a single web package that also includes the ability to have customer-facing web content. So there is part of it is a website, but that's not all it is. Again, there's a mass email tool. There's integration into the SOS system. There's integration into CK Editor for the content management system. There's a built-in support tool. There's a coupon code system, and of course, integration into various merchant systems. Then the mobile devices. Again, we do have generic iPhone applications available to be used. But if you choose to go with more of a co-branded and do a powered by SOS type of relationship, not a problem. Doesn't change pricing or anything really, other than you're more free to forward your users directly to our support if necessary, forward them to our knowledge base. Also, you can have them use our mobile applications. So here we have just another competitive comparison, and this presentation is available if you talk to our partner specialists. But it just shows that for years we were competing against Carbonite and Mozy, who are really the consumer kings, and it was just by a matter of a lot of people were in the online backup market, file and folder. We'd always positioned our service as more suitable for business, and that's due to our security, whether it's the dual offsite backup or just the global presence that we have with so many more data centers than everyone else, and also the various levels of encryption. But SOS is just now completely competing with somebody else. So Carbonite and Mozy compete with part of what we offer, but then you have to also take into account the companies like Zenith, Intronus, and eVault, who really are the three big players in the image-based backup market. And most of these, again, Zenith I know requires a $1,000 to $2,000 purchase of hardware just to discuss what other backup option you want to go through. Neil asked, do you work directly with end users or only through partners? The majority of our business is through partners. I would say close to 80%. We do have a direct user channel, mostly consumer, but there's no managed services behind it. It's just you can buy the software and then manage it yourself. And again, your wholesale pricing is still less than what we list at. Any plans for Linux, Solaris, HP user experience support? Not right now, no. But you can, if you map those drives to a PC, to a Windows machine that is, then you can back up that data from there. So as long as you have the SOS application installed on a Windows box, then you can pull data from other operating systems, and that's what a majority of our partners do. So this gets into some of the increased flexibility and speed of the software, but let me go ahead and pull up a quick demo so we can run through that.
And then should we get back to pricing after that demo?
Yeah, then we'll get right into the competitive landscape and pricing hereafter. All right, so we're just going to log into our Windows 2008 box, running R2. Let me bounce back to just this demo session. Shut some of these things out. Okay. So here we're going to log into our server save application. It's going to pull up, excuse me. And make sure the let's close this out, try it again. Okay, so here we have the SOS suite of services. So again, we have online backup and recovery, which is letting us know that there's an update available for this product. Bare metal image creator, which is telling us it's installed, and exchange granular recovery, which is telling us it's installed. So first, let's just go through creating a image-based backup. So we open up Bare Metal Image Creator. And then we have different options. We have the disk map, which really isn't used. It's anything that you need in disk mapping is pretty much done in the wizard. You have backup jobs. I'm going to delete this backup job so I can show you all the scheduling we have available. Destination, same thing as a disk map. You do that to the wizard. And backup history, which is just that. The backup history gives you a nice log of what happened. If there's any error, like up here, show you in pretty plain English that it was just because the drive didn't have enough space. So you just got to go, wherever you were putting the backup, ran out of backup space. So again, really, really clear to read, great logs, and let's get back into the wizard. So we select backup to create a backup job. Hit next. We can select multiple volumes or select a single volume. So select the Exchange volume E. Looks like my backup drive is full. Then it's going to ask me, okay, well, where do you want to put this backup? Typically, you go to a network share. Typically, you set up a Windows 7 box. What we recommend is essentially a backup staging machine. So Windows 7 box, 64-bit, The one we have running here at our office has 12 gigs of RAM and an 8-core processor, just because we want to make sure that if we need to mount a machine, that we could split it into a couple of VMs and it would still run fine. So it really depends on what you intend, how you intend to use that staging machine. That's how we recommend it. And for more information on that, you can check out our knowledge base and also our partner specialists. Network share, for the most part, or for now, I'm just going to select backup drive F, this virtual drive. We'll hit next. Then it goes to scheduling. Scheduling typically with an image-based backup system. You go full backup on one day of the week, incrementals throughout the week, and then full backup again at the end of the week. This is fine for older programs where you'd have to recover each individual backup by, full backup, incremental, just to get to Wednesdays. And you have to manually do it in order. Our system has an intelligent file chain, which is just going to say, okay, which incremental do you want to get to, and then it'll do it for you, and we'll show you that in a minute. So we recommend this continuous incremental backup strategy, and it's also more conducive to taking these backups off-site. So you do one full backup, and then you do incrementals, for the rest of the time, and it's going to do multiple incrementals per day. And this is part of a self-healing process, because at the end of the day, it's going to consolidate these using Shadow Protect Image Manager. It's going to consolidate all of those daily incrementals, so the 11 that are going to run for this day. It's going to consolidate them into a single incremental file. And again, the biggest problem with image-based backup systems is that you just do one a day, and if it fails, you're pretty much out of luck. There's no self-heal, there's no alert that the job is bad unless you do a test recovery. Well, because of the way Image Manager works, it gives you this self-healing. It tells you that this incremental failed, this is where we're at now. And it's really nice. It's just what you want in a image-based backup solution. So we'll go ahead with this strategy. We can select the compression for the local backup. And then we also can select encryption. So for those of you needing HIPAA compliance, you would need to do this, and you would need to come into Advanced, go to Encryption, and select the AES 128-bit feed, which is required for local backups by recent HIPAA changes. So as of January 2010, this is required. But we do encrypt the data. If it's going off-site, we do encrypt it going off-site at 128-bit or at 256-bit AES before going off-site. It transfers over a 128-bit SSL, then it's stored in an additional 724-bit AES encryption. So commands, if you notice here, we do have, or previously, it does say use VSS. So using a VSS writer means that we support open backups of databases using a VSS writer. So that's pretty much all SQL databases. What this means is we're doing a transactionally consistent backup. A transactionally consistent backup versus a crash consistent backup is an important differentiation to make. A crash consistent backup means, Alan's buying, Neil. Alan's buying a boat from Neil. And it's a big old boat. It's $1 million boat. Okay, it's near a ship at this point. So the transaction comes in two parts. $1 million is leaving Neil's account or Alan's account and going in Neil's. Neil says actually it's 19-footer. That's a good sized boat. It's been nice out here in LA. I've been wanting to go out myself.
You can borrow his.
Yeah, I can borrow Neil's boat. After Neil says he'll take $3K. All right, great. Does that come with a slip for a year too? Okay. So Neil's going to get this boat purchased, and the first transaction is $1 million out of Alan's account, and then the second part is $1 million into Neil's account. So a crash consistent backup would take a snapshot at some point, even if it's right in the middle, those millisecond difference of the second part versus the first part versus the second part. And you would lose the entire transaction because it doesn't store, databases don't store transactions. You don't back up transactions when they're in progress, which is why all databases tell you shut down the program and then run a backup. Well, VSS Writer negotiates with these databases that have VSS Writer enabled. Again, VSS Reader and Writer. So with VSS enabled, it'll say, hey, you got any transactions going on? Say, yeah, I do. Let me finish up and I'll pause everything for a second. And it literally does that. It'll finish the transaction, $1 million gets transferred, then it pauses, snapshot happens, and then we have a transaction like a system backup, no data is lost. So that's important. VSS stands for Volume Shadow Service. It's a Windows service. Other people call it, you've heard other things like volume shadow copy, but it's volume shadow service. So that's what you do there. And if you have a database that's older, does not have VSS Writer, then you can come to commands here and you can put in post-snapshot or pre-snapshot and post-snapshot commands to stop the database and then restart it once the snapshots happen. Right. Neil says, good for stock financial transactions that might be in the middle of a transaction. Exactly. So most e-commerce servers, you would definitely want a transactionally consistent backup, and it would have to be something that you would even test. Even if it came across the wire saying it's transactionally consistent, it's so critical that you would actually want to test it first and verify. But this is how it works. As long as VSS Writer is enabled on the database that's running, you're good to go with our system. Split the image file. So here we give you the ability to split the file into smaller chunks. We recommend this for big images. So if you're talking about an online backup program that is, or an image system that's 100 gigs, maybe chunk it up into 20 or 50 gig chunks. Again, this doesn't give you more management because it intelligently will manage the incrementals in the file chain for you. We'll show you that in a minute. But this will make the online backup and recovery procedures much better performing. So as we go to next, moving right along, finish, and I don't have enough room in my backup drive for this to run, so I'm just going to skip it, and then because we already have some backups that have run. And now let's open up our online backup and recovery manager. So it's saying, okay, there's a new update available. So let's download. Excuse me. Any questions while we get this updated?
No questions out there? Neil says no, don't think so yet. Okay.
It just sounds that good. We can start talking about boats and split prices and, all questions.
Yeah, exactly. We haven't been through the web integration package yet, have we?
No, we haven't.
Okay. Well, you guys are really going to like that. This is kind of, this is the bones of the system. This is what backs up your entire operating system, all your system state data, applications, et cetera, and Exchange servers. And then when we get into the web integration package, you're going to be able to see how you'll be able to sell simple online backup plans via the web, which is totally hands-off for you. So you could be selling online backup while you're sleeping. You could be selling online backup in other countries. And it's what we call a passive sale. And it just makes it all the easier for you guys to make money and also get a web presence if you don't already have one. Can I see how many of you out there do presently have a website and have a web presence?
That says.
Neil says yes. Alan does. Andrea does. Okay, cool. That's great. Are you selling online backup on your website, or are you looking to do so, perhaps?
Meaning e-commerce integration into
yeah. Yeah, Neil says not yet and yes.
Well, perfect. We've saved you a lot of money, and we'll go through that in a minute. So let's go through the rest of this this demo with the online backup. Now this is updated, and then we'll move forward. So here's the online backup. We've actually done a rebrand of this one. You have a scanner here that's going to scan through the system and show you all the documents and give you, okay, what's possibly up to date. Now, this is a VM server for a demo, so we don't have a whole lot of data on it, but typically this will be really nice. You have custom fields where you can include or exclude folders or file types or files based on file size. Just a really nice system to be able to do that. To just scan personal, or don't scan at all. Let's just move right along. Great. So Neil says we like to sell what we use. Great. I mean, that proof is in the eating, right? So if you're eating, why not everyone else? So sure, get in touch with our partner specialists, and then you'll be able to get an account, get you a trial set up, whatever you want. All our partners get a free 50 gig account to start, and then of course it's your prerogative to upgrade from there. So it's a great program, and we want you to be using it. I use it every day, especially with the iPhone application because I'm an iPhone user.
Yeah, me too. Sometimes when I start out these webinars, I talk about how I have all of my honeymoon photos on my phone, and I know someday my phone's going to die. And so I back them all up with SOS, the Android application, and also with the client, and it really does make me feel better. I'm not afraid of switching phones, for example.
There you go. So going through this, we have the Windows tree view, very familiar. We have all these items. I got a good question about the difference between Apple's Time Machine, and we could take that at the end. But here we have a Windows tree view. You have this information. So these are all the images that we've been backing up. The F drive is our backup drive for this demo. Our staging machine. Gives you scheduling options, so you can back up at the end of the wizard, put it on a schedule. If you're in a Windows domain environment, then you would need to enable this, or you'll often run into errors during backup because you won't have proper connection. All right, Andrea is saying our sound keeps going in and out. How are we sounding to everyone right now? Are we sounding good? Okay, better? Okay. So you have this information here. You can back up hourly. So workstation backup, I recommend backing up every 1 to 3 hours. I mean, why not? The backups are going to take 2 minutes, and it's not going to affect the machine at all. All you're going to do is add a restore point objective, which is at what point can you restore to, of 3 hours. Within 3 hours, we can restore a version of a file. I've even run it every hour before, and the only thing that really bothered me was all the email reports I got telling me that I was protected. And it's hard to be bothered by that. Create a rule and then put it in your feel good folder. Whatever you want to do. For your servers, still a lot of data. You probably want to do something daily, and also just you just don't want things running like that. But if you're using a staging machine, it's really just a matter of scheduling with your image-based backups. So we have the schedule set up, email reports. We can add multiple email reports. We'll just hit finish. And now the backup's scheduled to run. So now that it's scheduled, let's say we have to recover, and we're ready to recover online. So we go to this restore option. We hit online restore. And it's going to refresh for us real quickly. And all of these bold dates in this calendar tell us when a backup was run. So I can go back years if my account's that old and refresh back to that point. This account is not that old, but I can go back quite a few months. So January 3rd. Show me what was here on January 3rd. And I hit next. And it has all the machine names that I've run backups on. So that's since January 3rd. So I go back, and let's go back to today's date. We'll refresh, hit next, and now look at all the machines that we have on here. So it's really powerful, really simple to use. So I go through, right now we're on Lasso Demo, I have the F drive, I select this, it shows me all the different images I've run, 5 different versions of a file. You get this drop-down box with all the different versions with a size, date, and timestamp. You can make this a little bigger if there's more information you want to see here. So if we scroll down, we can start seeing the image-based backups. So backup job 14. Let's say we just want to select all of backup job 14 and all the incrementals. Right-click, check all. Oh, sorry. We just check all these. I actually prefer to go to the classic view, then that right-click, recover, selected button works a lot better. We select all these files, hit next, and then tell it where we want to recover all this information. So let's say that let's cancel this out for speed's sake, and let's say we recover that information to our F drive. So I open up Windows Explorer. I don't even open up the software. And I go to the backup drive F, and let's see what we got running. So backup job 13, incremental 28. Let's say I just want a quick mount. Say, okay, I just got to quick mount this drive right here. Quick mount. And in a couple seconds, it's going to pick the next available drive letter and mount this image and the entire chain as a virtual drive G. Here it is, our Exchange server. That was really fast, really easy. So let's go through it through the software though. So I open up Image Creator. I go to Explore Backup. This restore option is if you need a boot disk. But let's just say we're doing it this way, we're going to recover to a virtual drive. So I hit Explore Backup. Go next. I'm going to browse for the backup name. Let's just say I said this one, backup job 10, incremental 43. I hit next. Then it says, hey, there's all these incrementals of this file. There's 55 incrementals. Which one would you like to recover to? And I said, well, let's just get the most recent. We hit next. This is great. What drive letter do you want to use? I'll just use H. I can mount it as read-only or not. I'm going to mount it as not read-only. Hit next, and then here's the file chain. So all this happened in the background when I did the quick mount. Hit finish. Now it's going to mount up virtual drive H. So now that I have this Exchange data, let's see about the granular recovery of that Exchange data. So we open up EGR. We select our source file. So I'm going to go into the H drive. Exchange, mailbox, mailbox. Here's our EDB file, Exchange database. And then it's automatically going to assume where the transaction logs are. It's in the same directory. If you need to change that, you can. We'll hit OK. And then it's going to show us the information we have available here. So that's our EDB. Then we pick a destination. So we can pick a PST to go to. More commonly, we're going to pick an active Exchange server. So this is going to authenticate based on the Windows user I'm currently logged in as. EGR does require a MAPI32 client to be installed while you're running it. And you also have to have the SOS Online Backup application installed. Well, it's neutrally branded as Online Backup or Recovery Manager. So we close, we open this up, and then let's say we have user one come into us and say, hey, you know, I lost some file that had an attachment that had something to do with management. Can you search for that for me? So I hit Find Now. I open up the first email that comes in, read this, get a little preview, and then Management Guide. Is this the one? He says yes. I say, okay, great. So I'm going to open up, excuse me. So I'm just going to drag this over. I'm going to open up his profile, and then just drag and drop this right into his inbox. And then done. So it's that simple. I can shift select all these messages, drag and drop them into this inbox, drag and drop them to another inbox. I can change my search to be not just in this user, but the entire Exchange store. Let's find now. We see it, you know, everyone who had an attachment with management in the name. So it gives you quite a powerful tool to search through and then preview very simply and easily. A lot of systems don't even have this preview. I know Backup Exec's plugin doesn't have a preview. I don't even think it has a search either. You just kind of have to, I think it's like a per mailbox recovery, which we can do as well. You take this and you just drag and drop it in here, and it'll do that. Or you can take the whole EDB and drag and drop it on the new hardware and move it to similar hardware. So it's a really powerful, simple to use tool, quite intuitive. Any questions on this? Or any of the programs we just went through? All right, I'm going to open up. So those of you who are looking to get into some e-commerce on your own website, I'm going to pull up our partner dashboard and show you just exactly how we do this. So this is a brand new version of our partner dashboard, and we are updating it every month. Every month you're going to get some new goodies in here. Neil says my engineer would take care of all this, not me. I don't know, Neil. This is real simple. You don't need an engineer for this merchant integration. So it's this simple. So let's launch our web package, which is the web integration package. And notice it goes to manageonlinebackup.com. We can go, let's view the full site. So if you want to come see the demo, it's manageonlinebackup.com. We also have some information here available for you. So disaster study, recorded training, successful SOS webinar, so the deck that we just went over. But we go down to our gateway section, go to view gateways. Oh, okay. Neil's saying the Exchange server he'd have to do. Yeah, no problem. For the gateways, you come in here, let's say we're using Authorize.net, or let's say we're using PayPal Pro. All you do is you hit edit, you plug in your credentials, uncheck the sandbox, hit submit, and then you're good to go. And you start receiving money for accounts that you offer on this sign-up page. So if we go over this, again, that was kind of fast, but your partner specialist can go over this with you. But if we go over all this, these are all the different systems we've integrated into this web integration package for you. So we have admin settings, which includes different things like cancellation policies, copyright in the footer, global metadata for your website, the client download that your users will receive when they sign up for an account or when you sign them up for an account. You can do payment gateways, which we just looked at. We have a mailer built in here, so you plug in your mailer settings. Then you can set up mailer subscriber groups by uploading a simple CSV file and then blasting out, putting them in different groups, industry specific, whatever you like. You have different statistics for it as well. So if we were sending mails out here, we'd see bounce, click-through rate, open rate. Then you can view stats by date range or by specific subscriber group or by specific campaign. There's a real basic support ticketing system in here. I'll let you do this. That's nice. The content management system as well allows you to come in. You can edit the metadata for this page specifically, which is really nice. And then also you have a visual editor to come into. And this is what it looks like in the editor. And again, this is what it looks like live. Again, that's managedonlinebackup.com. So you have a nice content manager to come in here. If you want to get a little more advanced, you can look at the source, go through it this way. And we're also adding in a new functionality, whereas partners who sign up on June 1st, we're going to be installing this on subdomains. So it'll be, let's say neil.onlinebackupcheckout.com, and there will be a CSS editor as well. So you'll be able to have a web designer come in and they'll be able to play with CSS styles a little bit. It's not the same as full cPanel access, but it does give you a lot of flexibility in that respect. If we go to the coupon codes, again, for the merchant system, you can create different coupons. So for your leave behinds, when you go to a business, how many times do people say, hey, that's a really cool backup program. Can I use that at home? You say, no problem. Here's my website. Here's a coupon code. Go sign up on my website. But you can do that now. You can give coupons that are date specific, that are specific to how many uses. So you could say, first 50 users gets, 50%. Oh, excuse me. It's 50% off. It shows you how many would be redeemed, that sort of thing. So it's a real nice system there. And then, of course, being able to set the currency and also set the pricing. So if you have different plans available, you just come in, say edit, and then you can make the plan active or inactive, meaning it'll show on this sign-up page or it won't show on this sign-up page. You can change the title, what it's called. You can change the pricing. We predetermined the payment plan number. It's an internal figure, and also the size. But you determine these items. And then lastly, we have our backup users panel, which is even more integration into the SOS system. So you can come in here, view account information, edit, upgrade, cancel, reset the password, etc. And that's the web integration package. So getting back to a presentation, when we're looking at from a service level, this is where SOS was. And since adding Server Save, this is where we play now. And the big thing you can note about this diagram is that, if we go back especially, the left side where it's the bare metal backup solutions, it's not really that populated. There aren't that many options. And a lot of the systems have been around for a long time. They're hardware-based, all of that sort of thing. Now we've moved to do this, and what you'll also notice is that we are the only name that spans from end to end. We know, Zenith has tried to come out with an online backup service, and up until we launched Server Save in November, most of our partners, or a lot of our partners, were partnered with Zenith, and they use them for the local bare metal recovery and backup. But then they use us for the online. And when we added this service, we had everyone switch over to us. So it's really been huge to see how quickly our services have grown, not just with our existing partners, but with the new partners that we sign up every month. Going into the pricing of this program, what does it cost to get in here? The base program we have is Server Save 5, $3.99 a month, and it gives you access to a terabyte of online backup space and 5 server licenses. A server license is good for a single server. So virtual and physical are treated as separate servers. So at this, we've put together like a breakdown in cost of what we recommend. So our suggested retail cost, if you were to break down this first Server Save package, say 200 gigs and 1 server seat, would go for $129 a month. Now that's really, it's not a managed service price. We sell it for $129 a month on our website. I believe more than that actually, and there's no management behind it, so we're not even installing it for the customer. So a lot of our partners are selling it for closer to $200 a month because of the management behind it. Especially since test recoveries are so easy, you add in test recovery to your managed service package, and that's a big ticket item, and it's also understandably expensive, and it's understandably necessary. So, and then we have additional options where you go Server Save 10, 15, 25, and as your business grows with SOS, your margin grows. So you can get more for less. Any questions on this? Anyone thinking of what they would sell a managed service package like this that would include basically 1 server seat and then unlimited seats but up to 200 gigs of online backup space? So as many machines as you like, but you're limited at 200 gigs total. Some said, not sure yet, not a problem. Well, again, with our partners, typically we see that plan go for somewhere around $150 to $200 a month. A good formula that I like to look at as well is you take your hourly rate, so how much your hourly tech rate is, and you charge a half hour per month per workstation and an hour per month per server, and that's your base managed service package cost. And then on top of that, you add on hard costs like software licensing or hardware or anything like that. So that's what I usually recommend. So Andrea asked, so if selling to a 5 to 100 employee shop, would it be ServerSafe 5? Well, it depends how many shops you have. You know, you assume that your average business user has between 5 and 10 gigs of data that they need backed up. So you can lowball it at 5. And so if you have 100 users, you're looking at probably a minimum of 500 gigs for that single account. And that would be maybe not inclusive of the servers, because the servers are going to have archive data that is going to be important too. Neil says they sell online firewall management under annual/monthly contract. That's great. I would bundle this into a level of that. So it's like, oh yeah, you know, we have one package where it's just backup, one package where it's just a firewall. Then we have this other super awesome package that includes both, and the price is too good to say no. It's a little more for a lot. It's a little more money for a lot more service. Kind of like how telecom companies get you, you know, either I'm paying $150 a month or $170 a month for everything, or I pay $140 a month for hardly anything at all. It's like, well, they really put me in a hard place there. We already went over that. So again, here's some diagrams that you can go through about how the service is built out. Again, this is available on managedonlinebackup.com. But, you know, get started now. Call our partner team, 877-896-3611. I think we got some summer kickoff specials you can go ask about. But 877-896-3611, go get started. They're going to get you on board. We'll have you out in a week. You know, right now it's a real quick turnaround. You know, 1 to 2 weeks, you're going to be fully delivered, ready to go. You can start playing with the software and have your own personal 50-gig account within a couple of days. So it's real nice. They'll talk to you through what needs to get going on to get started in the program, introduce you to our partner delivery team, our partner support staff, you know, everyone who's going to be taking care of you as we get through this. And also make sure that whatever level you come in at is the level that's going to make you the most money. Any questions? Oh, actually, there's one question that we had that I'll go back to. And if any other questions before we go, feel free to enter them now. One question between what's the difference between, let me look for it specifically. What advantages does this solution have over Apple's Time Machine? Well, one, we work on Windows machines, which is still a 80% grab of the business market. So you have a much bigger target audience to sell to. The Time Machine, it's a great product. I've used it, but it's Mac specific, and it doesn't give you a lot of granular options. So it gives you the ability to restore back to a certain point, but unless they've changed something recently that I've missed, going back to a specific file isn't that great. Also, offsite access isn't that great. You can't share files. It's really just it's really one part of what you would call a backup solution. So a backup solution includes online file on folder, local file on folder, local image-based backup, offsite image-based backup. That's a true solution. Just Time Machine, it's a terrific strategy, but it's just that. It's one strategy. So we're offering an entire end-to-end solution. Cover your endpoints, cover your main servers, both off-site and off-site. So you have your true belt and suspenders approach to getting ready to put online backup. Neil asks, when will this webinar be given again so I can get my engineer and CEO involved? Well, it'll be next Thursday, every Thursday, same time, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. Pacific. And we run this all the time. If you want to look at other ones that we recorded, if you go to our main website, SOSonlinebackup.com, and go to the partners section and go to webinars, we actually post the recorded versions of all of our webinars online as well, so you can view that. Thank you. Alan says, very informative. Alan, I appreciate all our participation. And again, those of you who have asked questions, you will be entered into the Kindle drawing, so thank you. And without further ado, we'll close this session, and we look forward to seeing you on board. So again, my name is Derek Wood, Partner Product Manager here at SOS. It's been great. Thanks a lot, and have a good weekend.